Where did she go?
Connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh my god, hurry up.
It's
Hi.
live, Raven. Do you want to
Oh
pause
no.
this?
Excuse me. Okay, hi.
Wait. Accept and connect. Okay, it's logging in. Okay.
Okay, just
Raven.
get Yasmin back.
Raven.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Hold-
since
Let
it's
me.
live? Do you want to disconnect it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
How long is
disconnect.
this gonna be though?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Fine. Fine.
We can do this another time if we need to.
Yeah, or we can replace the Aspen with the Aspen.
Mm-hmm.
Can you replace me?
You're right. You're irreplaceable. We could replace you with the lesser version.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Okay, wait, okay, it's on now. Okay, it's working. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Raymond. Um, yeah, I'm Raymond.
Uh,
That's Yasmin. That's Rebecca, and that's
I'm
Bree.
Rebecca.
Again.
I'm
Define the
Rihanna.
problem. Define the problem. So the problem right now is that we need to choose one of five students to wait, one of five students for
Isha.
Okay. So, okay, now it's working. Okay, so we're starting now. We are choosing one of five students. We need to choose one of five students to show that it's like president of the third world country, right?
Right.
So we have to find the average team. That is the problem.
Mhm.
We need to establish the criteria. Mean average.
What does it mean to be average? Is that what you asked?
Yeah,
Um.
but
Average teen spends more time on social media than with their parents or their family.
yeah,
Or like who
Honestly,
isn't really high up in grades or like going to Harvard or Yale.
yeah,
Oh,
average is. I don't know. I don't really find a very certain criteria of average. I think you just know it when you see it, but you just know when someone is above average and someone's below average, or if they do things that are above and below, kind of. So I
yeah,
don't know. I just can't really find a nice description for an average person.
yeah. What I think the criteria for average is like, which one of these people would do you like? Would you are you most likely to bump into? So it's like, say you're just like walking down the hall at school. Like, which one are you more likely to bump into?
Hmm.
Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most common one.
Yeah. So that's our criteria, the most common one, the one that can represent most people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Political figure. Well, what if they start cursing? That's not good.
Yeah, that's not really a good
Yeah, you
representation.
don't want to like, or like,
Yeah.
what if like, because this is a president, right? This could like, what if they reflect really badly about our country? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the president of the third world countries expects them to talk super formally and use big
Yeah.
SAT words, but they expect them to show proper
Respect.
behavior without showing profanity. Yeah. Right, respect.
Or like, what if they just aren't
Yeah.
interested? The president. What if he or she isn't interested? Isn't interested. Does that
I
make
don't.
sense?
Yeah, I kind of the way I'm interpreting the question is they're not really interested as the president as a title. So I think they'd actually be more better because they would treat them more like an average person.
Yeah.
And I think that would make they would just not treat them differently just because he or she has the title of a president.
Hmm. Yeah. And then let's see. Suggest possible solution. Okay, so we now need to discuss which two students we would want to like consider.
Um,
I
I
think we should
would
just
like to
go down the
consider
list. Oh,
Jada.
Yes, we should definitely go down the list.
yeah.
Yeah. So with Ling Cho, he is obviously the overachiever, right? He
Yeah, you're right.
is
Yeah.
kind of like the best of the best.
Yeah.
But is that
Yeah. Like
really average
the
though?
highest caliber there.
Is that
Um,
really average though?
I don't think that's
No.
average because,
Yeah.
not because if we're going by your definition, like average is the person you would bump into the street, you wouldn't really you're not more likely to bump into someone who went to Yale or Harvard or someone who's valedictorian at their high school class.
Yeah, that's true. Because like it's not average for a person to go to like Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
if you just
like,
oh well she wait, is it a she or a he? She really just like doesn't like represent like the average teen. Does that make sense? She's like
yeah.
overachiever.
And another thing is that she's very nervous.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
Yeah,
like
that's
really
really have
true.
shows.
good social skills. So
Mhm.
it wouldn't really be best to kind of help out the president throughout his day.
Yeah, that's true. Because like if you're meeting with a high-ranking official, you really don't want to be nervous. You want to be able to like be confident because like kind of represents a
And talk
country.
about like the cultures and stuff like that. Like really fun things.
Okay, so are you ready to move on? We've ruled her out, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to Chloe Hellman. She was a C student. That's pretty average. C is average.
Yeah.
She's well liked by everyone.
I think that'd make a person average.
And then yeah, she's going to a local college. That's kind of like sort of.
Fluctuating grades would rather make a person average.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I couldn't hear you.
Like fluctuating grades would make a person average.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it shows they have strengths and weaknesses.
And like Catherine the Johnson, that's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, that's not average, but like
Mhm.
you want to have like them to be like a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think she's average, but I think she's I think the reason why I think she's average is she's the kind of girl that I would see in movies, as the main character in movies, protagonist. So I
Yeah, but
think,
is that
Yeah.
yeah, but in real life would you bump into her though? Like is that like I think so.
yeah, I think I would.
Yeah. So we've agreed that maybe we're gonna like consider her maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's move on to Jada Williams. She is a CPR. She won first student award. She's on the field. She's an overachiever and wants to take the leader to an art gallery and museum. I don't think being artsy is like pretty. I feel like being artsy. That's not like average. Like the average person isn't like artistic. Does that make sense?
I guess, but then again, average people, I think what makes them different is that they have their own, gifts and qualities. So,
That's true.
yeah.
But like, she's an. Do you really want to take the leader to an art gallery and a museum? Because like, when we're thinking about a third world country, we want to take them like somewhere that like try to get them to change their country. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, I feel like a world leader wouldn't really be interested in art. Oh, Yasmin, you're back. Wait, is she back? Yeah. Okay. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yasmin, what do you think?
it does make sense. Did I leave? Because I was here the whole time.
No, you were like
Maybe
muted
we're
for
just
like a few
looking out.
seconds. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep going. So yeah. So you want to rule her out or no? Because I'm kind of iffy on her.
I think we should put her on the table, reconsider
Yeah.
her, maybe for later, just like we did for
I
Chloe.
think she's too special.
Yeah.
I
mean,
would agree with Yasmin. I think.
Yeah, I agree with Yasmin.
Yeah.
By here I got these students want to not really should be like a fight. That should.
Yeah. If you've been suspended, that doesn't make you look very
Yeah.
good, and especially if,
Average.
like,
That's below average.
I mean, I guess, it's understandable if you
Yeah.
do something because of something that's happening at home, but it actually shows that you're kind of, in a way, irresponsible, because if something happened at home, you wouldn't really, the day you were supposed to meet with the president, you wouldn't act you wouldn't like actually be on your best behavior, and
Plus,
that's not what they want.
You want someone who shows that they're capable at.
Not only that, it reflects bad behavior for the school.
Oh, Yasmin, you're freezing. She's still there?
Average, then the think like, oh, all the other students are doing this too, you know?
Wait, is Yasmin still here?
Yes.
Yeah, she's still
Okay,
here.
yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay. And then, I feel like. Wait, I'm gonna say they because I don't know their gender.
This is like the worst time.
I'm gonna I'm gonna assume that they're like pretty like socially conscious. So like they could like probably like but here they could probably like talk to him about like I don't know stuff that's happening in his country because he can like debate and stuff. So I'd assume he's socially conscious.
True, but
Ooh,
yeah,
y'all
I mean, honestly, he's trying to figure out who the average. He's just trying to figure out who the average teen is. Like, honestly, it was
That's
just
true.
talk to him about politics, and I feel like the president would like the point of meeting with an average teen would be to not talk about like politics, like in a very in-depth manner.
Yeah, that's true. What's Yasmin doing? Okay.
Sorry.
Are we gonna rule them out? Rule out Bahir?
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, let's rule them out. Jacob Jones, last one, he is a C student, pretty like average. Regular level courses, pretty average.
Why does it show that you're typing?
Oh wait, what? Okay. He wears earrings.
Move. Stop being annoying. Can you move for a second?
Copied by other high schools and plans to take the leader to a recycling center.
okay.
So he's like environmentally conscious.
I kind of have a thing. I feel like they purposely put that he rides a motorcycle and wears earrings. Like I don't know. I feel like they kind of put that on purpose. Like it's not something that you would expect someone to wear. Like in a negative kind of light. I feel like they put that there negatively.
Yeah, that should not be a negative thing. So we're gonna ignore that because that's not negative. Like that's just a part of who they are.
And like it's not. I don't think it's against dress code. At least the earring part. I'm not sure about motorcycles.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's not excessive, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a problem. That's just part of who he is.
At least he has a personality.
Yeah, at least he has to express himself.
And he doesn't really seem to like be in trouble a lot. Like let's see, like here. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Did like how he got suspended.
Yeah. And then what else? He has a good sense of humor, so that's gonna be great with the president, hopefully. And then also, he's environmentally conscious. You know, with third world countries, I don't think they're usually like third world countries. They're usually like not very like environmentally conscious. They're more worried about their economy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like he could actually change things in that country. He could inspire the president to be more socially conscious, and people of that country would fare a lot better.
So it's not like really like he's kind of forcing politics on him. It's kind of like he's trying to show him what he does, and then it's like the president could then himself take it for inspiration.
Yeah.
And like one thing I really like about his description is how they say he has a good sense of humor, which hasn't been like said for any of the others. Like for Chloe, they said how she was well liked, but they never said any other thing. So they're putting that like as an emphasis that he has like a good sense of humor.
Wait, is Yasmin freezing for you guys also?
Yeah.
Is she still there? Yeah, she's frozen.
What?
Okay, whatever. We're just continue on. We're just gonna continue on. She should come back. Okay, there we go. Wait. Now it's gone to her picture. Is she gone now? Is Yasmin gone?
Here.
Okay, you're
Dude,
here.
I'm
Show your
here.
face. Oh yeah, show your face and whatever. So yeah, so let's narrow it down to 2. So we ruled out Ling Cho, right? So we know she's out. Do we want Jacob? I think we want Jacob.
Let me see, Jacob. Yeah, definitely. I really like Jacob.
So
Yeah,
it
I agree, and let's leave with Jacob.
So it comes down to Chloe, Jada, and Bahir for another consideration. Do you think Chloe?
honestly, I think I kind of like Chloe, even though I
Yeah.
kind of think she's a little too stereotypical average in my opinion, but I don't think I should let that kind of confuse my decision. I think that she would be a
Yeah.
good person.
Yeah, she's the more average of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the three, sorry. She's the more
Yeah.
average of the three. Let me see. So, evaluate each solution and choose the best one. Okay. So, we're going to evaluate each solution and choose the best one. So, Chloe, we're going to go through that. She's very, like, stereotypically, like, football. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
stereotypically American. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, like, do we really want to bring a world leader to a football game?
I
Like,
mean,
what do you
I
mean?
think it's like a little too loud, a little crowded. Like, I know he wants the life of an average teen, but then again,
That's, like,
there
too
are people,
average.
yeah, like, there's a lot of people that go to football games, but then there's a lot of people that don't go to football games.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, is Yasmin still here? Can she?
Yes, she is
Is she
still
talking?
here.
Can you really not see me?
No,
Maybe
you're
if
just
I
like an
move
icon
someplace
right
else.
now. No, you're
Okay.
just like a pure like profile pic right now. That's all I see right now. But okay.
What about now?
No, we still can't. Okay, you just need to talk. Just talk.
Okay. I'll just talk.
And then yeah. So what do you think, Yasmin?
I
Because
like
you haven't
Chloe
said much.
and the dude.
Wait, why do you like
What's
them
his
though?
face? Jacob?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We're talking
But
about
why do you
Chloe.
like them? Like, why do you like Chloe?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, she's average enough to actually do it. And then Jacob, he's got a personality. He could actually offer some things. You know?
That's true. That's true. So Jacob, with him, we're gonna evaluate Jacob now. He could actually get the. Oh, Bree's gone now. Oh, never mind. She's still there. Okay. So with Jacob, he could actually like, he could like actually like he's environmentally conscious. He could actually like change things.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already discussed this, and he's like
This isn't working.
he's average, but he has personality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's that music playing? Is that from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from
I can't-
Yasmin. Okay.
I can't escape that.
You can't escape that. Okay, that's nice. So yeah. So I think we need to test both individuals. I think we need to test both of the individuals, and how we could do that is an interview.
Yes.
Like an interview in
Okay.
front of like a committee. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You want it to be formal.
Well, but like, how else would you do it?
Maybe an essay?
Maybe an essay? I
Yeah,
feel like
they could each write an essay explaining why they would be
But
what?
Legible.
oh, because like the problem about an essay is that you could make yourself look good
Oh,
with
that's true.
words,
That's true.
but on an interview you're asking them like on the spot.
Plus, you
Yes.
want this kid to have some charisma. So
Yeah.
I think an interview sounds best.
maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe a little bit of both. Yeah.
And then I think we should just like, and then like they'll like review it, and then they'll do it like holistically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we're done.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the broadcast now. If I can figure out how to do that. Okay.